Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, the award-winning gardening podcast as voted for by the Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and by my listeners. I hope that you have all clicked that subscribe button. If you're new to the podcast channel, please do click the subscribe button and then you get notified of all the new podcasts that get launched. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, make sure you look for Gardening with Ben and follow me on all my social medias. So sit back, relax, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's gardening podcast with Ben. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for a brand new episode. Well, it's the 1st of October, so it's time to get a review of what has happened over September and what we've been up to at the allotment, because we've been quiet on these podcasts for a few weeks, but we have been busy down at the allotment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's Gardening with Ben podcast. So if you're new to these podcasts, make sure you do click the follow button and subscribe button and you'll get notified when new podcasts come up. And there'll be quite a few new podcasts over the next few days talking about everything October-wise. So yeah, what have we been up to in September? Well, we had the hosepipe ban come in August, I think it was now, and it's been alright actually, because we've had a lot of rain and it's seemed to keep it pretty damp all the time down at the allotment. So I've not had to worry about using water from my water butts and stuff like that. I've had enough water to keep things pretty well watered really, and there's not that much growing left in my plot at the moment. So our main focus for September was sorting out all my strawberry plants, because my strawberry plants had sent out absolutely loads of runners and they were growing all over the place. So we've been separating them all, we've been potting them up, we've been planting them on, we've been getting them all ready for next year, because I'm wanting a bigger crop of strawberries from my plants next year. And fingers crossed we will do, because they've all taken, they're all growing well. I've got some growing in my polytunnel and I've got some growing in the ground outside where I'd not got enough plant pots left to pot them all up into. But yeah, they're all looking pretty healthy. And obviously we've purchased all the new strawberry plants called Buddy, which are meant to fruit all through the summertime. So we'll see what they're like next year. I'm excited for them, because that's the thing with strawberries, is that they grow once, you get a good harvest from them, and then you finish with them for the rest of the year. So hopefully we get lots more strawberries next year, because you can never have enough strawberries. And if you're like me and you like strawberries, you'll have a lot of plants on your plot, because they don't take up a lot of room, to be honest. You can squeeze them all in anywhere and everywhere really. Wherever there's a gap, you can squeeze some strawberry plants in. And I'll be looking at having possibly around 300 plants next year, which is a lot. And you'll probably think, wow, that is a lot. But trust me, I will eat all them strawberries. I'll be turning red next year for definite. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the strawberry season next year. And our other main focus has been harvesting. I've been harvesting my pears the last month. I've got absolutely loads of pears this year. I've not got a lot of conference pears, but I've got an absolute load of dessert pears. Now, they are pretty hard to eat, so I'm waiting for them to go softer. I've currently got them in my flat, trying to get them to go softer, which is taking a long time. They've been sat there a while now, so hopefully they do start to go softer soon, because I do prefer a soft pear rather than a hard pear. They're a lot more juicier. And I've also been out and purchased a slicer, because they are tough to bite into. So I've bought a slicer which cores it as well, which is fantastic. You don't have to deal with biting around the core and stuff like that. You can just bite the slicers, and they're absolutely fantastic. So this slicer will do me perfect, and it was about $8.99, but fingers crossed it should last forever. And I can obviously use it on my apples as well. I've not harvested my apples yet. That's my next job on the list when I'm next off. So when I'm down at the plot next week, I'll be going down and harvesting all my apples, and we'll be eating all them for the rest of the year as well. So we're gonna be certainly getting us plenty of fruit next few months. So yeah, it should be pretty good for harvesting over the next few weeks. So what else have we been doing? We pruned this plum tree. I pruned that beginning of September. I should have probably done it in June, July time. You're not meant to prune them in the winter period. Uh, that's what this books say anyway. So I don't usually do it in the winter. I do it early on after it's finished fruiting, and I've really given it a good chopping back this year. It was getting too tall. It was getting out of hand. So I've had to give it a really good chopping back, and it's pretty bare now. But fingers crossed, we probably won't get any fruit next year on it, but hopefully after that, in a couple of years, we might get some fruit again on it once it started to grow and take shape and start to come back to how it should have been. So yeah, sometimes you have to do these things. You have to really chop things back sometimes and start from scratch really. And I've obviously got two other plum trees on my plot what I planted this year. Obviously they'll take a few years to start growing and start getting fruit on them. We might get the odd couple on them, but we won't get nothing major on them for a few years yet. So they're in the ground. So we've done that, and I've started planting my bulbs. I've started planting all my spring bulbs. Now, they say for tulips you're not meant to plant them till November, but I was talking to someone and she was saying, oh, that's codswallop. Um, they're in the ground all year long once you've planted them, so I don't see any reason why you can't plant them now. It says that they get tulip diseases and stuff like that, but I've had them in the ground and they've been alright all year in the past. So we've been planting our tulips, we've planted daffodils, we've planted alliums, lots and lots of alliums. I can't wait for them. The bees absolutely love alliums. So if you're wanting to encourage the bees to your plot, have some alliums. So we've been planting loads of those. We've planted crocuses. We've planted hyacinths. I've got a load of new hyacinths this year and I planted them. I absolutely love hyacinths. They smell fantastic. So fingers crossed they will look good. We've planted some, I can never say the word, they're like, well, the grape hyacinths and muscari. I can never say the word. I'll never make a professional when I can't say the words of the plants. But yeah, we've got some of those in. What I've done is I've netted them all over my beds because I have trouble with squirrels, rats and mice down on my plot. I know it might not stop them fully, but hopefully it will stop them a bit from getting them out and digging them out, because I've spent all this money on these bulbs and I don't want to lose them all. I want to have a fantastic display, and all these podcasts go towards paying for the bulbs for my plot. It all goes back into my allotment, so do keep on streaming them and you will get me to get more plants and I can talk about them on my plot podcast then. So yeah, the more you stream them, the more things I can get for my plot. So we've got all that, and we've done one area at the moment. I've got some daffodil bulbs down this side of the area, but I built a new flower bed last year around where my plum tree is, around my entrance, and it had no bulbs in it. Well, it had a couple of bulbs in it, not many. There were just a few here and there, but we've really put a major display on, ready for the springtime. There's so many bulbs gone into this area. If they all grow, they will look absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait for spring now. I'm excited. I'm like a kid at Christmas. I just can't wait to see what this display is actually going to look like and how it's going to come out. Fingers crossed it does come out. The effort I've put into it and all the bending down and planting all these hundreds of bulbs in this area, fingers crossed it will be worth off while, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. So we've done all that area, and I've obviously got my front flower bed, which was the entrance of my plot, which is on the road really. It's in front of my plot, and that's still full to blooming of flowers at the minute. It's absolutely full to busting with them. It's got sunflowers in, it's got fuchsias in, it's got dahlias in, it's got cornflower in, it's got geraniums in it. It's absolutely like full with colour, and I don't want to touch it yet because we need to get all the bulbs in there. And in this area, I've got some bluebells to put in as well. So I want to have some bluebells in this front area. I managed to pick some up, and I want to get some snowdrops as well. So I need to keep an eye out for snowdrop bulbs because they spread as well. I'd like some bulbs which spread, which create more every year, and that would look fantastic. Snowdrops at the front of my plot. So we'll see what we do. But I'm waiting for it all to die off first before I dig all them out and sort them out. A lot of them are just annual flowers, so they will come out. But there's quite a few perennials in there as well, which are my fuchsias. I've got geraniums, which I'll be digging out and storing in my shed over winter, so that they'll grow back next year bigger and better. That's one little tip for you. If you've got geraniums, dig them out, put them in your shed, keep them in a frost-free area, and they will grow and flower next year. You don't have to go out and purchase more, which I probably will purchase more, or I'll grow some more from seed because I want to increase my stock of geraniums every single year. So we're going to be doing that. So we've got all them to get out. I think there's about 20 plants in front of my plot. So I've got to dig all them out and look after them throughout all the winter. I did it last year. First time I tried it, I dug up some what I'd grown from seed and stored them in my shed, and they kept flowering all through year, all through winter in my shed. It was brilliant. And my neighbour plot, who does know more about flower growing than me, he says you shouldn't be letting them flower, you should be cutting them off. Just cut off the flowers, and I'm like, no, I want some flowers in my shed, and they're still flowering now, so I've not had no issue with them. But yeah, we've got lots of geraniums to dig out, and I want to make the front of my plot even more phenomenal than this new area that I've done. It's looking phenomenal now with the flowers. Everybody on the allotment site has commented how well and how beautiful this area, what I've done, looks on my plot, because it's absolutely amazing. The other thing that we've been doing at the moment is we've been harvesting some of our squash. I've got absolutely quite a lot of butternut squash type what I've grown. I don't think they're butternut squash actually. They look more like pumpkins, but they're a different shape. So I don't know what variety they are, but we've picked them all. And me not being a very good cook, or not attempting to cook, should I say, I gave them all to my mum the other day. So my dad's been chopping them all up and cutting them all up, ready to cook for soup. So yeah, we're looking forward to trying some pumpkin soup. She's gone and got me some freezer bags to store them all in my freezer so that they'll see me through for the next few months. And obviously, with the cost of living rise, my rent's been increased, so I need to find ways of saving money, and hopefully, the more that I can grow and cook and store, the less I'll have to spend on buying food. So yeah, I'm looking forward to these soups, and there were quite a lot of squashes, so hopefully we get a good result from them, and hopefully we get a lot of soup from it as well. Obviously I'll let them have some of it as well, because obviously they've cooked it, and see if they like it as well. I know they like the soup. My dad especially likes his soup, so yeah, I'll definitely let them try it. And obviously I've been looking after my pumpkin as well. I've been sharing pictures of my pumpkin. I've not shared one actually this week, of how big it's actually getting, but I think it's ready for harvesting pretty much soon now. The plant is starting to die off. Obviously when the plant starts to die off, you know it's ready for picking. But make sure you do pick it before the first frost if you're growing pumpkins or courgettes in that sense. Any squash type fruit, you need to make sure you pick them before the first frost, because the frost will turn them to mush. Pumpkins and squash don't like cold, they don't like the frost especially, and it'll just turn it to pure mush. So you need to make sure you've harvested your pumpkins and your squash well before then. So yeah, that has been my September really, and it's keeping it all good and tidy, really. A lot of it is now tidying up all my plot and clearing it all down. One of my main jobs as well was to prune back all my autumn raspberries. They've all finished fruiting, so I pruned all them back and cleared all them away. But they're very spiky, you have to be careful with them. You don't realise how spiky they are. But we've pruned all them back to the ground. The summer raspberries, we've pruned back all the ones what had fruit on them. All the new growth for this year is ready for the fruit next year. You don't prune them back to the ground, the new shoots, you leave them for next year to have the fruit on. So yeah, it's been a very busy September. I doubt I'll be going down to the plot as much now during the winter months because there's not as much to do. It's just a case of clearing it all and getting all the maintenance work done. But I'll talk about what I'm going to be doing in October in another episode, so make sure you do click that subscribe button and follow button, and then you'll get notified when that episode comes up. But in the next couple of episodes we're going to be talking about all the jobs what need doing in October and anything that you can plant as well in October, so make sure you stay tuned for those episodes. But yeah, I won't be going down as much during these winter months, and obviously, like I said, with price rises at the moment, I'm trying to keep things to a minimum, and I have to drive to the plot, so the less driving I have to do, the less petrol I have to buy. It's a shame those electric scooters aren't legalised yet. I'd love one of those, and I'd just go back to and from my plot on that, really. It would probably last the full charge back and to from it, but yeah, we'll see. I have got a bike, but I can't store it in my flat because I don't live on the ground floor. I live on the landing, and they've got bike racks outside, but people have had them out there before, and they've just been nicked. They've cut through the chain and nicked them, so it's not worth the risk. So yeah, hopefully through October, hopefully we're going to be getting a lot of work done on the plot and a lot more bulb planting. But like I said, stay tuned for that episode. I best not speak about it all too much or I'll run out of stuff to say. But I do need to find more topics to talk about on these podcasts because I do like doing them. And like I said, everything that I get from these podcasts goes back into my plot. And I've got a lot of new stuff what I need to get for next year. We need some more perennial plants for next year. So yeah, I need to start making my list of what flowers I want to grow on the plot and where I'm going to grow them actually. The more flowers that I can grow on the plot, the better. Because it's absolutely looked phenomenal with all the flowers this year. I've been so impressed with it. The gladiolus have looked beautiful. The sunflowers have looked amazing. Obviously, those are annuals. The gladiolus are perennials. They'll come back year after year, but the sunflowers are annuals. But yeah, I want so many more sunflowers next year. They've looked amazing. They've stayed flowered for ages as well. They've done really well. I can't believe how well the sunflowers have done on my plot. I bought a bag of seeds, what were mixed variety, from Amazon because I didn't want the standard yellow sunflower. I wanted different varieties and different colours and everything like that. And yeah, they've looked absolutely stunning. And I've shared so many pictures on my Instagram of them because they're that nice. I just can't get enough of them. You might have all got bored of all the pictures of the sunflowers, but yeah, it's looked amazing, and I've been really pleased with how it's all come out. And I'm just enjoying sharing everything with you all from my garden, my allotment, and sharing it all with you, and sharing all the positives along the way. I'm not a negative gardener. I'm not one of these that moan all the time and criticise things. I just get on and do it, and if it fails, it fails. You try again, and that's what I say. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Sorry it's been so long since the last episode, but like I said, I'm going to be getting a couple of episodes coming up, talking about all the jobs to do in October, all what you need to plant in October, and yeah, quite a few episodes coming up. So if anybody has any ideas of episodes they want me to talk about, do send me a message on Instagram. If you're not following me on my social medias, please do. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I did a little dance the other day for you if you follow me on TikTok. I know a lot of people liked it. It was just a joke at the end of the day. But yeah, until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. Thank you for listening to today's Gardening with Ben's podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do click that subscribe button and feel free to share it as well on your Instagram stories. All you have to do if you're listening on Spotify is click the share button and you can share it straight to your Instagram story for all your followers to listen to and help build my listeners up as well and get more people listening to it. Feel free to check out all my social medias: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. Go check it out. Check out my dancing. Gardening with Ben. And check out the link as well in the description of this podcast where you can check out my gardening t-shirt shop where I sell funny t-shirts with all different funny logos and designs on. And feel free to support me by purchasing one, and all the money obviously goes back into my allotment where I can share more gardening tips with you all. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts.